best thing you can do in the early stages of a startup is to actually ship things, just to put things out there, test them, and iterate. So if you're talking about, the most important thing that you can do is to think in experiments.
First thing startups should do when it comes to digital marketing is not rush into digital marketing. There's never too early to talk about positioning. So you need to think about positioning even before, even when you have just an idea and not a product, you need to think about positioning.
And you shouldn't stop work around positioning because it's something that lives and breathes and evolves with your company.
Know what you're working on, know your market, because there's no such thing as the most efficient marketing channels for any type of startup. When it comes to marketing channels and what works and what not, experimentation is key as well, because it doesn't actually matter what works in general. It matters what works for you.
Who you want to be, customers. Just ask them when they hang out. Ask them, what people they follow, who they trust, where they spend most of their time online, because that is going to point you towards the right direction. And also, maybe not try to tackle everything at once because you're not going to be able to do that. Try to experiment with a batch of channels, a limited batch of channels, and give them a chance to, build up and have that compound effect over a decent period of time. Because you might be tempted to do everything at once, and there's a lot of enthusiasm to do that. But obviously, you only have so many resources.
I hate the concept of virality. There's no such thing as creating virality. There's no such thing as doing viral marketing. Things go viral if you're actually doing something that's really cool. Things go viral if you're actually doing something that completely and deeply resonates with your users, and you cannot predict whether something is going to get viral or not. We have four macro acquisition channels. So we're looking into organic, we're looking into referrals, we're looking into performance marketing, and we're looking into affiliates slash partnerships. Of course, that you can further break down each of these channels. As you scale these channels and you experiment along these channels, there's always going to be some cannibalization, and you're always going to have the attribution issue. Where did this user actually come from? If I stop performance marketing, is this user going to bounce back into organic and hence be a cheaper user for me and more effective for me to bring it on board? You need to in order to make sure that you're not cannibalizing your users and you're not paying more than you should in order to acquire your users, what you need to do is to experiment in order to understand what's the uplift, what's the incrementality, analyze everything in terms of incrementality, and this way you're going to keep cannibalization in check as you scale acquisition channels.
So when you think about content marketing for a product-led growth strategy, think the other way around. Start with your website, work that content in a way that you can repurpose it for social media, in a way that you can build blog articles that talk about your product, but not in a commercial way, but in a way that serves your customers' needs. And make sure that everything that you build ties into the product one way or another. And that's going to take a little bit of research, obviously, a little bit of understanding your customers and what they need. But try to avoid, leading with thought leadership. Try to avoid leading with, things that are very high level that talk about the market in general. And try to focus specifically on the product itself. Try to, talk about all its features, its benefits, use cases, and all of the details behind that. And then lead up to that thought leadership as your authority in the industry grows. Because that is a super important element, but it comes a bit later for you. So instead of trying to build your presence on social media, start with your website and then, use social media as a distribution platform.